so there's two parts. The first part, you're basically going to decide what am I doing? Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is so that I can record it and then send it to you guys so you can all have the notes. The idea here is you need to figure out your topic and then how are you going to research it. And it goes in, it really works into a nice little funnel. Okay, so it works something like this. You need to get your topic. Okay, so if you guys look at, and I'm going to give you guys a list of topics to consider. But the first thing is thinking from a really broad idea, changing your community. So who has a topic that they like? We'll use it as an example. Peter. Okay, in Pinball, is that?
Hornsby.
In Hornsby. So a new aquatic center in Hornsby. So you've got just this general change in the community. And I'm just going to put aquatic. What we want to do is become more specific when we think about what you're going to do. So we go from aquatic center. What is your aim? What is the overall big idea that you want to think about with the aquatic center?
I don't know.
Okay. Because what you're going to do is you'll have the next step will be your aim. Oops, A-I-M. And the aim is has the aquatic center been built?
No.
Okay, so how will building the aquatic center change my community? It's really that simple. Okay, that's your overall aim. Well, then you want to get more specific, and then that's when you bring in. I'm just going to bring in the hypo. I'm not going to split the whole thing. Hypothesis. And your hypothesis are a series of questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't really matter. That are more specific. So, what are some of the changes do you think that a possibly could happen as a result of your aquatic center?
A lot of residents who live at Hornsby might not go further to those further pools and stuff, but they'll just go a lot closer, so traffic around there might be a bit more congested.
Okay, so one of your hypothesis questions will be, will there be an increase in traffic in this area? Okay. You also want to know if people who are going to other aquatic centers will now go to this aquatic center. Those are two questions. You've already got your hypothesis. Okay. Anything else you might want that you think might change?
More workers might go to those casual swimming instructors might go to Hornsby to teach now as well. So.
Okay, so there may be more casual. There's more jobs for casual swim instructors in Hornsby. Okay, increased employment. So your question, you'll phrase that as a question: will there be more casual? So there you go. So now that's going to give you your 3 pieces of focus for the next section of all this is going to be your methods. Okay, or your methodology. How are you going to answer those questions? So the first one is, will people come from other aquatic centers to this aquatic center? So you need to actually get out and possibly go to surrounding aquatic centers and ask people, hey, when they build a new aquatic center in Hornsby, do you think you're going to go there instead? And start asking people, and that would be, so your methodology will be, I'm going to go to certain aquatic centers, 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to ask them if they plan, the number of people, if they plan on going to go into that Hornsby. So there's one. So there's your methodology. What's your other question?
Will the traffic there increase?
Okay, so traffic. Is there an expectation of traffic increase? Who might you talk to answer that question?
I might send an email to a council member, maybe.
Great, exactly. So you're going to talk to a council member. So you want to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. What plans or what are your expectations for changes in traffic in this area? You might also ask, maybe if there's been an aquatic center built somewhere else recently. And you could call them up and say, hey, just really wondering, what effect have you guys had on traffic in the local area? You can talk to the manager or something. So you're going to do interviews. So your methodology for that section, for that hypothesis, will be interviews. Okay? Good. And the last one is increased jobs for aquatic staff.
I have a swimming instructor, and he knows several others, so I'll ask him and his...
Sure. And you could, again, you might want to talk to whomever. They might have already nominated a manager for this local aquatic center. Or the council might be able to say, yeah, we expect this not many jobs to be created for Aquatic Center. Okay, so that would be great. I'm not sure the builder would really know in the actual running. He's just going to worry about the actual. So there's a lot of different things you can ask about that center, but those are solid questions that you can ask. You could have talked about environmental, structural, who's it going to accommodate for. Those are all the questions you can consider as well. You know, is it going to be for retirees or for young kids or for the mix? What do they expect? And then you can do some research and find out who actually is going to come and use that. But those are good questions that you have. And that's where you need to go. Those are the steps that you need to be able to accomplish is through the methodology. Does that make sense?